that's the way that came along. So
Okay.
as I came through, as I kept going into school and going and getting this education, now I met when I wrote my thesis for my master's degree.
Okay.
It's at Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So you have a
That's-
master's degree.
Yeah, you get your master's first.
You got your master's.
So when I wrote, I'm trying to figure out what I wrote on. Well, anyway, turned in. She said, "This is good enough for the library."
Oh.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
This is Northeastern State Teachers College, and not far from Muskogee.
Mm-hmm.
Muskogee, you could drive it. I drove every morning to that to go to school there.
So let me just ask you. You have stuff that you've written. It's good enough to be put in a library.
Yes.
Also, you have a
Good.
school in, is it Plano?
Yes.
That is named with your name on the building.
Yes. Yes.
Now, how often do you see that?
Well, I guess with that library, she said this is done well enough to be to go in the library.
Into the library.
So I imagine she did put it in the library.
And your name.
It was about blacks, whatever it was, whatever I wrote. I don't remember now. You write your thesis, it's pretty thick.
And your
So
name is actually sitting on the building at a Plano school.
Yes.
Hightower.
Well, I didn't really, those things were just given. I don't know why that would happen.
You have
It
to do
just
something
happened.
really great in order for those
in
to
Plano,
happen.
I saw White asked me to be a member of the Rotary, and
Okay.
I was the second black woman
Okay.
in the Rotary in Plano. So
Okay.
then I started doing. I said, well, I'm going to have to do Black History.
Yeah.
And they said, we can do it, you do it. So I did Black History there. Then in the forum with that, I did a workshop to say that we need Martin Luther King. We need to honor him. So in that workshop, I said there are three things we can do on his birthday. We could have breakfast
Okay.
there for all the young to come to see, and that was
Now, I
came to
remember
fruition.
a lot of the breakfasts because I was
You-
always invited to
Yeah, I
those.
told you
Right.
about that. And then I said at the breakfast, let's get the people from Central area and the city,
Okay.
and the mayor and all of those folk, and the superintendent. We then get those folk, see if we can get them out, and have them speak to tell. We want to know what percentage do we have of minorities. We need
Okay.
to start asking those questions
Yes.
about them publicly. Then all that started coming out to fruition. And I said, John and I, Tall and I, was it John then? Oh, what happened? I'm jumping. Well, anyway,
Mom, let me just ask you another question. When we first met and we started inviting you to the family holidays, which is the Thanksgiving, Christmas, you
Yes.
never missed anything that went on at the home.
no.
No,
And I enjoyed
from
it.
parties to everything, you was always there.
At your home, yes.
Yes.
Because you invited me and you the family, and I think, and then Nathan and Brandon, my grandson,
Yes.
became very close.
Very close. And Brandon started inviting his family, bringing his family
and
to
I think they
Thanksgiving.
used to call. Brandon lives in Tulsa.
Now, when he would come down, did he drive down from
Yes, he
there?
would drive.
Because
11-hour drive.
yes, he would come drive down for Thanksgiving
Yes.
and Christmas.
Yes, he would.
With his kids in tow, and at the time he had 4
yes,
kids.
Yes,
And
that's right.
yes,
And they,
and Betsy started coming and
yes,
bringing her husband.
yes,
And you used to always invite other family, extended family.
yes.
So the house started getting bigger.
Yeah, and
I mean,
bigger.
the gathering, Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yes.
started getting bigger and bigger and
Yes,
bigger.
yes, yes.
I remember
So-
once you invited a football player, Dallas football player, that was
Drew Pearson.
not Drew. Drew and I was at a few events that we had to do together, but it was James.
Oh, John, yes.
James.
Yes.
To see, let's talk about your accomplishments, the things that you have done.
Things that I've done, I tell you, number one, while at Langston, one summer, I was asked to come back to Langston. Once I said, please come and stay and do something as dean of women.
Okay.
I said, dean of women. She said, the students, the men and women here need you as dean of women. Come on. So I did that because she was a good friend, the president's wife, and I were good friends. Lizette Hale. So I went there as dean of women. So while there, one summer I did a school thing there, and there was a girl said she couldn't finish. She couldn't do an intern because they were too poor. She was from Boley, Oklahoma, and her father couldn't pay for her to stay at somebody's home, or which you had to do. Mm-hmm. That's what Bess had to do. Couldn't stay in a room and board and do interns, so she had to drop out of school.
Okay.
I said, oh no, we're not going to do that. So I took her and put her, she stayed with us. And I said, I had an extra bedroom. And I said, no charge, you just stay. And so she finished with me a whole year.
Okay.
I think you have to stay a year. So I kept her a year without charge for room and board. And then dropped off and up. Then number one, I think in Plano, during the Martin Luther King Fair, I organized with my husband and I said, Martin Luther King said, let's all be together. I did, the superintendent said, I want you to do something for the Plano schools with Martin Luther King. Okay. So then I organized, I said, could I start from the central office? So anyway, I organized a group of whites, some principals, community folk, 26 folk anyway, big 26 folk that I met twice a month.
Okay.
To talk about Martin Luther King and what we can do. And I want all the children involved in the community, the school children.
Okay.
So that happened. And the superintendent was just amazed at this going on and said, this is going to be done. This is going to be done. And meanwhile, I was still carrying on my schoolwork.
Yeah.
And I would bring in folk like if they were in the city, in town, and I caught them. I always catch folk who are in town.
People like who?
Like Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay.
And I would bring those in for the children to see. And they just were amazed. Let's say Hampton Choir.
Okay.
Bring that in for them. Texas Southern Choir.
Okay.
You find out who's in town, check and then bring and they're happy to come into the schools and do a program, and that's the thing that I did.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of that, but I did it with consistency. And then I was on a number of boards, and I was on the Board of Adjustment, which is a very high board in Plano, and a board of health board.
He was on the board of the community
housing board.
The housing board.
So I was just
forum.
doing things, and then after I retired, something happened. I just did charity work. I wanted to. And I did. I counted. I did almost 3,000 folks that I helped there.
Now, how did you become president of the Plano Community Charity? How did that come
I just wanted to do it, and I just worked. It just did it, and I just didn't know how I did it. And one day,
you did that for a long time.
One rainy day, it was raining. I said, I'm gonna have to do this.
You woke up
I started
every
worked
morning.
at 11. Yeah, I worked from 2005 to 16.
Yes,
2016.
that's where I met you at. You was there every day, rain or sun.
And another way, on one of the committees, health committee, and at the health committee at Presbyterian North, that worked on that committee almost 12 to 15 years.
Okay.
And Betty Mums and I were very close. We sat, we weren't near each other, we ate close to each other. And at that building, Presbyterian North, it was we would eat at one of the fine cafeterias, the medical cafeteria. I turned to, I said, Betty, I'm looking around, I'm the only one sitting here of color. Yeah, I see it could be a brown over that way. So I said, we need to do something.
Yeah.
I just tell her just like that.
Yeah.
She said, Myrtle, what do you think we need to, what do you think? I said, we need to bring black folks and the other folks all in to do something on the committee as a councilman or something.
Right.
To do something. I said, I believe in bringing blacks up if I'm there. Because I've just gone to Haiti for the school. We've done school there. I was in charge of that.
I remember.
I flew into Haiti and it's awful. Just awful. So then she said, Myrtle, I tell you what, if you can find somebody, my husband and I will take charge of everything else. We do all the payment. I don't care what it costs. And then they can do anything at my home. I said, I'm good, taking you at your word.